SKTM? S. Can you show me an S? Good job. S stands for Simply Have. That's right, Simply Have Fun. Are you going to have fun today? Yeah! Alright, what is the next one? K. Give me a K, do a V, and then put your thumb here. That is K in sign language. Alright, K. What does K stand for? Are you going to look to the left? Left? No. Are you going to look to the right? No. Where are you going to look? Right. Good job. The next one is T. T. Okay, T is like this. T. T. T stands for? Taunting others is not good. So are you going to pull your hairs, friend? Are you going to give them a punch? No. Right, you're going to enjoy and learn in front, look in front, alright? And lastly, M. Do this. Put your thumb here. And all the way down. That's an M. M. M stands for? Mind your language and manners. SKTM, kids all good? Have fun today? Are you ready for? Mind your English?
One, two, three, four.
Welcome. Nothing strengthens the bonds of friendship more than storytelling. Today, as we welcome our visitors from the United Republic of Tanzania, we welcome also its highly diverse cultures of numerous ethnic, linguistic, and religious groups, which in a way reflect multicultural Malaysia. To emphasize this, the parents of the Mind Your English program have written a story which blends a folk tale from Tanzania called Goso the Teacher with a famous Malaysian folk hero, the mouse deer named Kancil. Our narrator today is Auntie Mira. I am Auntie Kay. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our version of Goso the Teacher.
In a little village in faraway Tanzania, there lived a teacher that everyone loved. His name was Goso. Goso was a wonderfully dedicated teacher. He had no schoolhouse and no formal building in which to teach the children of the village, but that did not stop him from believing that all children had a right to education. So Goso would hold classes for the children under a large coconut tree. One hot evening, while Goso was sitting under the coconut tree, deep in the study of the next day's lessons. A gazelle decided that there was nothing she would like more than a drink of coconut water. Being a gazelle, she could not climb, so all she could do was shake the tree, hoping that a coconut would drop. Unfortunately, a coconut dropped on Goso's head and knocked him out. When Goso's students came for their lesson, they found their teacher unconscious at the foot of the coconut tree. They screamed for help. Everyone was very upset because they loved Goso very much. Their cries woke some Kancil who was sleeping nearby.
Aduh! What's the racket? Can't the mouse here get any sleep here? I come all the way on vacation from Malaysia, you know. It was a long journey and I am still so sleepy.
The villagers were happy to see some Kancil. They had heard that he was the smartest animal in Malaysia. He was so smart, he was like a detective. He was also very good at solving problems. So they asked him for help in finding out who had hurt Goso.
Hey, you see, it's a very windy day. Look at how the coconut tree is swaying in the wind. And look, see how the south wind has blown another coconut down? It may have been the wind that blew so hard that it knocked down the coconut that knocked down poor Goso. However, let's not jump to conclusions, yeah? Rather, let's take a look around the area of the coconut tree to look for more clues, okay?
But the villagers were too eager to find and punish a culprit. They refused to spend any more time investigating and immediately ran to catch the south wind who was blowing around the coconut tree. The villagers caught the wind and they began to beat it, but the south wind cried, "It was you who knocked down the coconut that knocked out our teacher Goso. You should not have done it." But the south wind said,
I am just the wind. I can't knock out a person no matter how hard I blow. That might wall over there is stronger than I am. You villagers build walls to protect yourself and keep me out. Maybe Goso ran into the wall while he was studying his book and knocked himself unconscious. Yes, it must be the fault of the wall.
so the villagers went to the mud wall. And they began to beat the mud wall. But the wall cried,
Why are you beating me? What have I done?
and the villagers said, "It was you who did not stop the south wind. And the south wind knocked down the coconut that knocked out our teacher Goso. You are a strong wall. You should have protected Goso from the wind." But the wall said,
If I was so strong a wall, would I be bored through by the rat?
so the villagers looked for the rat. They chased the rat. And they beat the rat. But the rat said,
I'm just a rat! Why are you beating me? What have I done?
the villagers said, "Rat, it was you who bit a hole in the mud wall, which failed to stop the south wind. And the south wind knocked down the coconut that knocked out our teacher Goso. You should not have made a hole through the wall. It is your fault that Goso has fainted." But the rat said,
Squeak! I have to make a hole in the wall. I was being chased by the cat and I needed a place to hide. Squeak!
so the villagers hunted for the cat. Found the cat. And they beat the cat. But the cat cried,
Trust the cat! Why are you beating me? Why can I die?
and the villagers said, Cat, it is your fault that Goso is lying unconscious. You chased the rat who bit the wall and didn't stop the south wind. And the south wind knocked down the coconut that knocked out our teacher Goso. You should not have chased the rat. It is your fault that Goso has fainted. But the cat said,
I couldn't help it. I was so hungry because a rope had caught me and tied me up. When I got free, I simply had to catch a rat for my dinner. It's not my fault. It is the fault of the rope.
so the villagers looked for the rope and they beat the rope. But the rope cried,
Oh, I'm just a rope. Why do you beat me? What have I done?
the villagers said, Yes, we know you're a rope. You tied up the cat who chased the rat who bit the wall and didn't stop the south wind. And the south wind knocked down the coconut and knocked out our teacher Goso. It is your fault that Goso has fainted. But the rope said,
It's not my fault. I was running away from that knife who wanted to cut me into pieces. It's not my fault. Blame the knife.
So the villagers went looking for the knife. They found the knife and they beat it. But the knife cried,
I'm just a knife. Why did you beat me? What have I done?
and the villagers said, Yes, we know you are a knife. You cut the rope that tied up the cat who chased the rat who bit the wall that didn't stop the south wind. And the south wind knocked down the coconut that knocked out our teacher Goso. It is your fault that Goso has fainted. But the knife said,
It's not my fault. I was running away from the fire. Fire has the power to melt me. It is the fault of the fire.
so the villagers went looking for the fire. They found the fire and they beat it. But the fire cried,
I'm just fire. Why do you beat me? What have I done?
The villagers said, Yes, we know you are fire. You melted the knife that tied up the cat who chased the rat who bit the wall and didn't stop the south wind. And the south wind knocked down the coconut that knocked out our teacher Goso. It is your fault that Goso has fainted. But the fire said,
It's not my fault.
I was running away from the water. Water has the power to put me out. It is the fault of the water.
So the villagers went looking for the water. They found the water and they beat it. But the water cried,
I'm just water. Why do you beat me? What have I done?
and the villagers said, Yes, we know you are water. You put out the fire that melted the knife that tied up the cat who chased the rat who bit the wall that didn't stop the south wind. And the south wind knocked down the coconut that knocked out our teacher Goso. It is your fault that Goso has fainted. But the water said,
It's not my fault. I was trying to escape the ox. The ox is always trying to drink me. It's the ox's fault.
and so the villagers went looking for the ox. And they beat the ox. But the ox cried,
I am just a dog. Why do you beat me? What have I done?
and the villagers said, Yes, we know you are an ox. You drank the water that put out the fire that melted the knife that tied up the cat who chased the rat who bit the wall who didn't stop the south wind. And the south wind knocked out the coconut and knocked out our teacher Goso. It is your fault that Goso has fainted. You should not have drunk so much water. But the ox said,
If I was so powerful, would I be tormented by the fly? The fly is always bothering me and making me sneeze. And the more I sneeze, the thirstier I am. And the thirstier I am, the more I need to drink. It's the fly's fault.
and so the villagers went after the fly. And they caught the fly, and they were about to feed the fly with the fly's water when the fly cried,
Hey, I'm just the fly. One whack of the fly's water and I'll be dead. Why do you mix me? What have I done?
and they said, yes, we know you are a fly. You torment the ox who drank the water, that put out the fire, that melted the knife, that tied up the cat, who chased the rat, who hit the wall, and didn't stop the south wind. And the south wind knocks down the coconut that knocked out our teacher Goso. You should not have disturbed the fly, the ox. It is your fault that Goso has fainted. But the fly said,
If I was so powerful, would I be eaten by the gazelle? The gazelle is always trying to eat me.
and so the villagers searched for the gazelle. And they beat the poor gazelle. But the gazelle cried,
Hey, I'm just a gazelle. Why do you beat me? What have I done?
and the villagers said, yes, we know you are a gazelle. You eat the fly who torments the ox, who drank the water, that put out the fire, that melted the knife, that tied up the cat, who chased the rat, who bit the wall, that didn't stop the south wind. And the south wind knocked down the coconut and knocked out our teacher Goso. You should not have done it. It is your fault that Goso has fainted. The gazelle was shocked. It wasn't the south wind that had knocked down the coconut. Gazelle remembered shaking the tree to get a coconut. Had she hurt the poor teacher? The gazelle was a graceful and gentle animal. And when she looked down at the poor teacher Goso, her tears fell thick and fast. She felt so guilty. In the meantime, some Kancil, who had been watching the villagers as they played with every single thing and every single creature, decided to speak up.
Ah, see? I wish you had let me finish what I was saying. Remember how I said that we should look around the area for clues. If we had done that, we would have seen the gazelle's footprints and we had gotten straight to her and asked her what happened, instead of accusing everything and everybody. Now look, you tengok. Everyone is upset and angry, and poor Goso is still unconscious under the tree.
Gazelle brought out the coconut which she had taken from the tree.
Here in Malaysia, the coconut tree is called the tree of 100 uses because its leaves make roofs and its husks make mats and the water can be drunk and its milk cooked with. I couldn't open the coconut, but maybe somebody here can, and then we can wash Goso's face with the water.
So the knife chopped up the coconut, and Gazelle sprinkled the coconut water on Goso's face, reviving the teacher. Everyone was very relieved and happy, for a teacher is one of the most prized possessions in any village. Some Kancil said,
I think there are some lessons to be learned here. One, we should examine every situation closely before we jump to conclusions. Two, we should never accuse anyone of anything until there is proof. And 3, perhaps lessons under a coconut tree aren't the best idea. After all, coconuts do fall out of trees, you know. It could have been any of you who got hit in the head. Why don't you work together and build a little schoolhouse instead? You can use the leaves from the coconut tree as roofing, and it will shade you from the heat of the sun.
The villagers saw for themselves how silly they had been, and they laughed together. And then they worked together to build a lovely little schoolhouse. Goso went on to teach the first Tanzanian Nobel Prize winner, and Gazelle learned to look around before she shook the coconut tree. As for son Kancil, he had so much fun with his new friends that he decided to spend many happy years enjoying the beauty of Tanzania, eventually climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, learning to speak the Bantu language, and learning to sing the national anthem, Mungu Ibariki Afrika, which means God bless Africa.
Mungu ibariki